the boy who escaped Nazis to win an Oscar. The incredible life of Tom Stoppard. How does a little boy, born in a country that was about to be destroyed, running for his life from the Nazis, grow up to become the greatest writer of the English language? Today, the world has lost a giant. Sir Tom Stoppard, the genius playwright and the Oscar-winning screenwriter of Shakespeare in Love, has taken his final bow at the age of 88. But to say he was just a writer is an insult. He was a survivor. He was a refugee. He was a man who didn't even know his own real name until he was an adult. From the horrors of World War II to the red carpets of Hollywood, his life was more dramatic than any movie script he ever wrote. Today on FameFlash, we are not just reading the news. We are honoring a legacy. We're going to take you through the complete, untold story of Sir Tom Stoppard, how he escaped death, how he conquered London, and the peaceful final moments of a life well lived. Grab your tissues. This is the story of a legend. Our story begins on July 3rd, 1937, in Zlín, Czechoslovakia. But the baby born that day wasn't named Tom Stoppard. His name was Tomáš Straussler. He was born into a Jewish family, just as the dark clouds of World War II were gathering over Europe. His father, Eugen, was a doctor. His mother, Martha, was a fierce protector. When Tomáš was just a toddler, the Nazis invaded. His family knew that as Jews, staying meant death. So they did the only thing they could. They ran. They fled to Singapore, hoping for safety. But the war followed them there too. When the Japanese forces invaded Singapore, the family had to run again. And this is where the first great tragedy of his life happened. His mother managed to get Tomáš and his brother onto a ship to India, but his father had to stay behind. Dr. Eugen Straussler was killed when a Japanese bomb struck his ship. Little Tomáš was only 4 years old. He never saw his father again. He grew up in India, far away from home, speaking a language that wasn't his. He was a boy without a country, a boy without a father. But destiny had a plan. In India, his mother met a British Army major named Kenneth Stoppard. They fell in love, got married, and the family moved to England. Tomáš Straussler became Tom Stoppard. He later said, "I became an Englishman overnight." He embraced his new life, his new name, and most importantly, the English language. You would think a boy who survived so much would be serious and studious. But Tom was a rebel. He hated school. He found it boring. At age 17, he did something shocking. He dropped out. He didn't go to university. Instead, he walked into a newspaper office and demanded a job. He became a journalist. For years, he worked as a reporter, covering court cases and writing film reviews. But deep down, he knew reporting facts wasn't enough. He wanted to create worlds. He started hanging out in theaters. He watched plays. He fell in love with the magic of the stage. He realized that on stage, you could be clever, you could be funny, and you could ask the big questions about life and death. He quit his job. He had no money. He lived in a cheap apartment, writing day and night. He wrote radio plays, he wrote TV scripts, but nothing was clicking. He was just another struggling writer in London until 1966. In 1966, Tom wrote a play with a very long, strange title, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead. It took two minor characters from Shakespeare's Hamlet and gave them their own story. It was funny, it was philosophical, and it was brilliant. Overnight, Tom Stoppard became a superstar. At just 29 years old, he was the toast of London. He became the youngest playwright to ever have a play performed at the National Theatre. Critics called him a genius. They said his mind worked faster than anyone else's. He wasn't writing boring dramas. He was writing intellectual fireworks. He wrote hit after hit, Jumpers, Travesties, The Real Thing. He became known for his wit, his wordplay, and his dazzling intelligence. But Hollywood was calling. Tom wasn't just satisfied with the stage. He wanted to conquer cinema. He became Hollywood's secret weapon, Did you know he secretly polished the scripts for Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, and even Star Wars? He was the guy they called when a script needed to be smarter. But his crowning moment came in 1998. He wrote the screenplay for Shakespeare in Love. It was a romantic comedy about young Shakespeare. It was funny, heartbreaking, and beautiful. The movie was a global sensation. And in 1999, Tom Stoppard walked up to the stage at the Academy Awards to receive the Oscar for Best Original Screenplay. The refugee boy from Czechoslovakia was now holding the most prestigious award in Hollywood. He had officially done it all. As Tom got older, he started looking back at his past. For most of his life, he didn't talk about being Jewish or losing his family in the Holocaust. But in his final years, he wrote his most personal play, Leopoldstadt. It was a story about a Jewish family in Europe being destroyed by the Nazis. It was his story. It was his way of honoring the family he lost. It was his final masterpiece. And now we come to the end of the story. On November 29, 2025, the news broke. Sir Tom Stoppard passed away peacefully at his home in Dorset. He wasn't in pain. He was surrounded by his family, his books, and the quiet English countryside he loved so much. He lived for 88 years magnificently, from a terrified child on a boat escaping war to a knight of the realm and a Hollywood legend. He once said, "I think of myself as a lucky man, but we are the lucky ones for having witnessed his genius." Rest in peace, Sir Tom Stoppard. The world feels a little less clever and a little less magical without you. What is your favorite work of Tom Stoppard? Was it Shakespeare in Love? Let us know in the comments below. Thank you for joining us on this journey. This is FameFlash, remembering a legend.